Your habits shape your destiny. Every decision you make, every action you take, and every outcome you experience, these are not random events. They are reflections of the habits you've built over time. The small things you do consistently, often without even noticing, are what shape your life more than anything else. Good habits are powerful. They lead to growth, achievement, and long-term success. But bad habits? They're just as powerful, only in the opposite direction. They drain your energy, waste your time, and slowly steer your life off course. And the longer you keep them, the harder they become to break. They don't just linger, they grow stronger with every repetition. The real danger? Most people underestimate their bad habits. They assume they're in control. They tell themselves, if it ever gets bad enough, I'll stop. But bad habits don't just go away. You can't wish them into non-existence. You can't outmuscle them with willpower alone. They're deeply wired into your brain, built through years of repetition and reinforced by emotion. If you don't take control of your habits will take control of you. Bad habits are deceptive. They rarely seem harmful in the beginning. They start as tiny choices, small indulgences, quick distractions, temporary relief. But those tiny choices become patterns. They become part of who you are. And over time, they shape a life you never intended to live. Breaking a bad habit is not just about stopping something. It's about replacing it. It's about rewiring your brain. It's about changing your environment, shifting your identity, and building systems that support the person you want to become. Because here's the truth. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your habits. If your habits are strong, success becomes your default. You don't have to force it. It flows naturally. But if your habits are weak, they will sabotage your dreams long before you even realize what's happening. So how do you break free? How do you stop the cycle? How do you take back control before it's too late? There are 5 essential strategies to break bad habits before they break you. These aren't magic tricks. They're not hacks or shortcuts. They're long-term, proven principles designed to reshape your behavior, rewire your mind, and rebuild your life from the inside out. And it all begins with the first step. 1. Identify the root cause. Most people try to break a habit by attacking the behavior directly. They focus on what they're doing and try to simply stop doing it. But behavior is only the surface. It's the symptom, not the disease. If you don't understand what's driving the habit, you will always struggle to break it. Because habits don't exist in isolation. They're connected to emotions, triggers, environments, and deeply embedded mental loops. Think about the habit you're struggling with. Maybe it's procrastination, overeating, constant distraction, negative self-talk, or avoiding responsibilities. Ask yourself, why am I really doing this? What am I trying to escape? What emotion is driving this behavior? Most bad habits are emotional responses, not logical decisions. You don't procrastinate because you're lazy. You procrastinate because you're avoiding discomfort. You don't scroll endlessly because you're curious. You're escaping stress or boredom. You don't eat junk food because you're hungry. It's a momentary relief from anxiety or fatigue. This is why willpower isn't enough. You might resist for a few days. You might even go a week or two. But unless you address the emotional root, the habit will return. Because what you're really fighting is not the action, it's the feeling behind the action. Understanding this is the beginning of freedom. Slot 2. Replace the need, not just the habit. You don't just break a bad habit by stopping it, you break it by replacing the need it fulfills. Every habit, even the ones that harm us, exists for a reason. It satisfies something, it soothes, it distracts, it protects. And unless you find a healthier way to meet that same need, your mind will fight to keep the old pattern alive. So begin with awareness. Pay close attention to when your habit happens. What happens right before? What are you feeling in that moment? Where are you? Who are you with? Are you stressed, bored, anxious, tired, insecure? Habits are not random. They are emotional reactions disguised as behaviors. And once you recognize the pattern, you can start to change it. Because here's the truth. If you can remove the trigger, you remove the urge. But awareness alone is not enough. You also need a replacement, a better alternative, one that fulfills the same emotional need without the negative consequences. If you try to cut out a habit without replacing it, your brain will resist. It's not about removing, it's about redirecting. If stress is the trigger, what's a healthier response? If boredom is the cause, how can you fill the void in a way that fuels you? If insecurity is the root, how can you build confidence without turning to self-destruction? You must give your mind a better option. For example, if you reach for junk food when you're anxious, try movement instead. Go for a walk. Stretch. Let your body process the tension. If you procrastinate because you feel overwhelmed, break your task into tiny steps. Set a timer for 5 minutes and just begin. If you waste time scrolling because you're unmotivated, redesign your environment. Remove temptations, set clear deadlines, add accountability. It's not enough to simply say, "I need to stop this." You must give yourself something better to reach for, an intentional response aligned with your goals that makes you stronger instead of weaker. And here's a truth most people ignore. Breaking a habit isn't about perfection, it's about consistency. You will slip up, you will fall back into old patterns, but slipping doesn't mean you failed. The real goal isn't to be flawless, it's to bounce back faster. Most people quit because they think one mistake ruins everything. It doesn't. Success comes from staying committed, even when you fall. It comes from using every setback as a lesson, not a verdict. So when you mess up, don't shame yourself. Ask yourself, what triggered that behavior? What can I do differently next time? What's a better way to respond? Every time you catch yourself, you get stronger. Every time you choose the better option, you rewire your brain. Every time you correct the pattern, you move closer to freedom. The first key to breaking any habit is understanding why it exists. Recognize the trigger. Replace the behavior with something better. And when you do this consistently, the habit begins to lose its power. You take back control. You change the pattern. You transform your future. 3. Change your environment. Habits don't live in a vacuum. They're influenced, often shaped by your surroundings, your physical space, your daily routines, the people around you, the things you see, hear, and do every day. And if you don't change your environment, you will always be fighting an uphill battle. Most people underestimate how much their surroundings control them. They assume that breaking a habit is all about trying harder, having more discipline, using more willpower. But here's the hard truth. Willpower is weak compared to environment. If your environment is full of triggers that reinforce your bad habits, you'll keep falling into the same cycle, no matter how motivated you feel in the moment. So take a step back. Look around you. What's in your space that pulls you back into the habits you're trying to break? If you want to stop procrastinating, but your workspace is cluttered and full of distractions, you're setting yourself up to fail. If you want to stop wasting time, but you don't plan your day, even a little, you're leaving space for chaos to take over. If you want to stop scrolling, but your phone is the first thing you see when you wake up, you're starting every day with a disadvantage. Your environment is either working for you or against you. And one of the most powerful ways to break bad habits is to design an environment where those habits are harder to do. Because if something is inconvenient, your brain naturally resists it. Remove the temptations. Make bad habits harder. Put friction between you and the behavior. At the same time, make good habits easier. Put them in plain sight. Reduce resistance. Build a space that supports the life you want to live. Change your space. Change your cues. Change your future. 4. Build identity-based habits. One of the most powerful truths about behavior change is this. You act according to who you believe you are. Your habits don't just shape your outcomes, they shape your identity. And in turn, your identity reinforces your habits. It's a loop. And if you want lasting change, you have to break that loop from the inside out. Most people try to change their habits by setting goals. I want to lose weight. I want to stop smoking. I want to stop procrastinating. But goals focus on what you want to achieve. Identity focuses on who you want to become. And here's the key. Lasting change happens when your new habits become part of your identity. When you say, I'm not a smoker, not I'm trying to quit. I'm a healthy person, not I want to eat better. I'm a focused and disciplined individual, not I'm trying to be more productive. The more you act in alignment with that identity, the stronger it becomes. Every small win is a vote for the kind of person you want to be. And every time you follow through, no matter how small, you reinforce a new version of yourself. It's not about changing everything overnight. It's about proving to yourself, with action, who you really are. So if you want to break a bad habit, start with the question, who do I want to become? Then let every choice you make cast a vote for that identity. Because when your behavior aligns with your beliefs, change becomes natural. You're no longer forcing yourself to act differently. You're simply acting in accordance with the person you believe yourself to be. This is the deepest transformation. When you no longer try to change, you are changed. Not because of what you do once, but because of what you believe about yourself and what you do consistently. 5. Make success inevitable with systems. Willpower fades. Motivation is unreliable. Inspiration comes and goes. But systems make success inevitable. The final key to breaking bad habits and replacing them with powerful ones is to build systems that remove decision fatigue and automate your success. A system is a structure, a routine, a process that makes the right thing easier and the wrong thing harder. If your life is full of friction, chaos, and randomness, you will always default to comfort. And comfort often means bad habits. But when your life runs on solid systems, good habits become automatic. If you want to stop wasting time, build a daily schedule and stick to it. If you want to eat better, plan your meals in advance and remove junk from your home. If you want to read more, set a daily reading time and keep your book visible. If you want to move your body, lay out your clothes the night before and schedule your workout in your calendar. Systems take the pressure off willpower. They let the structure carry you when your energy is low. They let discipline happen by design, not by constant self-pushing. The truth is, your life today is already a product of your current systems, whether you built them intentionally or not. So if your current systems are leading to bad habits, it's time to redesign them. Create rituals, set reminders, use checklists, simplify your surroundings, automate decisions, add accountability. Build a life where the path of least resistance leads to growth, not destruction. Because once the system is in place, consistency follows, and where there is consistency, there is transformation. Final reflection. Your habits are not just what you do, they are who you become. And every day you are either building habits that serve your future, or habits that slowly destroy it. The key to breaking free isn't about being stronger, it's about being smarter. It's about understanding what drives your behavior, changing your environment, shifting your identity, and creating systems that make good choices the natural choice. You don't have to be perfect, you just have to be committed. Because in the end, the life you want isn't built in a day, it's built in the decisions you make daily. Now ask yourself, what habit is holding me back? What identity do I want to step into? And what system can I build starting today that will make that future inevitable?